Marvel, a franchise that has been growing and gaining support since 1939, gave us one of the biggest and most well-recognized fandoms of all time, the Avengers. The Avengers Fandom is one that has been around since the first comic book debuted in 1963. Since that time, the fandom has grown to reach billions of viewers, making people from around the world laugh, cry, smile, jump for joy, scream with rage, and so many other complicated emotions.
No. I don't know what's happening.
People with different backgrounds, cultures, and lives can ultimately experience a million shared emotions with billions of complete strangers. This is just one of those examples. There are so many examples of strangers meeting and becoming best friends purely because they all happen to love Marvel. These are a few times where the fandom comes together for Comic-Cons or for premieres and leaves with new friendships and new bonds that may even last a lifetime. These bonds can also be formed, and perhaps more often are formed, over the internet, especially in the last few years when it's been harder for them to hold Comic-Cons. Over the internet, people are able to reach out to other fans and share their opinions of the latest Avenger teaser trailer or end credit scene with no problem at all, making building connections within the Avengers fandom easier than ever. Members of the Avengers fandom don't only use emotion to form bonds and create friendships on and off the internet. Emotion is also used as a form of persuasion within the group. This is seen through so many different platforms as people attempt to convince their fellow fans of different headcanons. A headcanon is essentially when something is not exactly true in the comic books, TV shows, or movies, but where the fandom or select members of the fandom may want to see it be made canon or true. Fanfiction is a case where it is especially important that authors use emotion to persuade their audience. They try to persuade them to not only read the story, but also to agree with what the author has deemed to be essentially the new canon. When going through AO3, Wattpad, fanfiction.net, or any of the hundreds of other fan art and fanfiction websites, you start to notice a lot of patterns. There are plenty of ships and debates about those ships. There are plenty of AUs, and more stuff that people create in an attempt to honor their favorite characters, or just to spread some joy to other members of the community. In a fandom that's so large, it's bound to happen that there are going to be some arguments. Whether these debates are about the different possible endings a character should have had, how a line should be interpreted, who was in the wrong during the Captain America Civil War movie, obviously Captain America, who the best character is, which actor is the best, and so much more. During these debates, emotions tend to run pretty high as people jump to the defense of their favorite characters or actors. However, ultimately these debates are resolved, or both sides will agree to disagree on the topic, and/or the argument continues to get more and more heated as more people join in, and it becomes a huge debate between thousands of people. One way or another, these debates are common in the Avengers fandom, and it creates opportunities for the different members to learn a little bit more about each other and share their own ideas. Emotion plays a major role in what draws people to the Avengers. There are so many opportunities for people to share experiences and create lifelong friendships with people when you choose to be a part of a space like this one. The fandom itself has been part of my life since the first one came out in 2012, and I was reading the comics with my siblings long before that. I've loved every moment of this fandom and the many ups and downs that come with the emotional aspects of loving something so much. Sometimes watching the sad moments are almost made worth it by the happy ones. The Avengers affinity space is one that has truly helped to make me who I am today, and I thoroughly enjoy the roller coaster that is the billions of fans that surround me. Thank you.